Hey, it's Drew Bentley with Learn Guitar with Drew. Today we're going to take a look at this classic 80s song, Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Whole lot of fun to play, great for campfires and sing-alongs and to impress your friends. But first, thanks so much for checking out the video. This song is tuned to D sharp standard. The strings are all a half step lower than normal. Your E is a D sharp, your A is a G sharp, etc. It gives the guitar a little more grit, a little more girth. This was done a lot during the 80s. Hendrix did it, Van Halen, Stevie Ray Vaughan songs. Let's take a look at how this song works. Let's look at the chords first. We have this, what I call a rock G chord. It's the first chord. And then there's this C add 9. And then a D chord. We also have an E minor in the bridge that'll show up a little later. And then the C chord, the bridge that'll show up a little later. And then this D over F sharp. So we'll dig into that a little later as well. Okay, so basically what happens here is we have this rock G chord. And then it moves up to this C add 9, which is basically a C chord with the ninth of the scale added to it. So it's called an add 9. That's this note right here. And so you'll notice all I have to do is pick up my first and second fingers and move the one string closer to the floor. So that's pretty nifty. So in this rock G system, if we keep our third finger down, we go to the D chord next. I like to look at this as sort of like the pivot foot. If you catch a basketball at the top of the key and you kind of pivot on your foot and shoot, this note stays there for all three of these. This is true of like literally 55 million songs, probably maybe more than that. I have no idea, but you'll see this all the time as you keep playing. So now we're going to go with a 16th note strumming pattern. 1 and a 1. We're accenting 2 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So it's a 16th note strumming pattern. I'm accenting the second beat pretty strongly on each one of these measures. That's important. What I like to do is do something called the chicka jam, have students put their fingers across the strings like a dead fish and go chicka. So if we do that, we can practice our rhythm without having to use our left hand. So this is a 16th note strumming pattern. It goes 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So it's like this. One and 2, 3 and 4E and a 1 and 2. So if you have trouble with that, there's a video on the channel right here about funky 16th note rhythms. You can practice your rhythm playing with that and come back to the video, or watch the video first and maybe check that out if you're struggling a little bit with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's where the words kick in for the verse. So the intro is 2 of these patterns. So it's a 4-measure intro. Now what happens next is we're going to do G for 2 beats and then C add 9 for 2 beats. So it's not a whole measure of G anymore. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So basically the chords go by twice as fast. Then it switches to that D chord, and that's where that fixed finger stays there. 1, 2. Now he throws a little sus in there, like a couple of times, adding your little finger to the 3rd fret of the high E string, and then back to C add 9 again. So that's the verse. So I'll play that for you here. try not to hurt you. Guess that's why they say well, the chorus is much the same. Every night has its dawn. Every cowboy sings a sad song. Every rose has its own. Yeah, it does. Then it hits one really hard right there. So let's go back over that little section of that verse and chorus. 1, 2, 3. That's your verse. And it goes twice as fast. 2 beats for each chord. And then D, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2. Now the chorus. Now, after the first chorus, there's a little fill going on before the second verse, and it's all pentatonic stuff. The E minor pentatonic scale on the 12th fret, just kind of like woodiddlies and things up there. If you don't know how to play that scale yet, there's a video right here on how to get started playing with the E minor pentatonic scale to play some solos, like this done on this song here. If you're enjoying this lesson, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications for when I'm uploading more songs like this one. So now, the second verse is the same as the first verse, and then there's a second chorus. Goes into the bridge. So the bridge is going to be E minor to D to C, and then it does this important walk down. G, D over F sharp, to E minor. So let's go over this bridge section. The solo kicks in. So basically it's 1, 2, and E and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and then the E and 4, and the 1, 2, 3, and 4, E and the 1. So there's some syncopation happening there. We have to switch to the D chord on the upbeat. 1, 2, and then 3, E and 4. It's a little tricky. If that's kind of hard to do, you can simply just go 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So you can play that with just kind of half notes or quarter notes. It's on the upbeat. Boom, da, da. And again, that kind of ties into the a lot of syncopation. Syncopation is when you play sort of on the upbeat. So this guy here, to go to this D over F sharp, and I think it's important for this song, we have this walk down, which you hear, and again, 55 million songs, the same walk down. So we're going to play G, this rock G. The second finger, I call it the leadoff finger, is going to go to the second fret of the low E string, third finger on G2, and fourth finger on B3. So this D over F sharp chord enables you to have this walking bass line. So that sounds really good, and it adds to the song. It adds a lot to the song. The simple version again is just 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. To make it a little more involved, so after this bridge section, there's a solo section with the same chords as the verse. And then it goes into the same chords as the bridge section for the solo as well, and kind of wraps that up. Now there's a breakdown, and he hits his knuckle on beat 2 on the guitar. 1, 2, so as you can see, I'm not playing an acoustic guitar right now. It's actually an acoustic sound through this Fractal Audio Axe FX. I've got this really neat preset which sounds like an acoustic with some chorus added to it. So I actually use this live a lot. I'll play a lot of gigs with acoustic sounds with just playing my electric guitar. It's not actually a pickup, like a piezo pickup, which is sort of the standard way to do this. I'm doing this with the actual computer itself. But anyways, if I had an acoustic guitar at the moment I was playing, I'd be hitting that on beat 2. So it's... Say the Lord that 95, know what to say. Instead of making love, both made us separate ways. Then I go back to that twice as fast thing. Like the tape. Right now, if I could have let you know somehow. Another chorus. Oh, that is song. Like every night has its dawn, just like every cowboy sings a sad song. Every rose has its thorn. And then there's this cool little outro riff which I like a lot. All right, so that's a look at Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Not too many chords to play, pretty simple. I still enjoy playing it myself. I play this at a lot of the acoustic sort of shows that I play, so hopefully you enjoyed the lesson. And as always, I can't wait to see you at the next lesson.